Awesome
Yes,
stuff, man. Thank you. Nice
yes.
intro.
He's showing off. He's showing off. But well deserved, well deserved. Because he's
Thank you.
extremely talented. That's right. Actor, producer, fight choreographer. He has done it all. That's right. Jose the Swashbuckler. Manuel. Manuel, yes. Hanging out with your boy Preston, Fred Samurai Guy, in the movie dojo. That's right. We're hanging out in the movie dojo podcast. And finally, I got to say, like The Rock, finally, Jose is in the house. He's in the dojo. Yeah, man. We were trying to put this together like way back, and then life,
I know,
life
I know.
happens. But
I'm
it's
very
all good.
excited, very excited to be here, man. I love your show. You have great stuff coming out, a lot of great guests, and it's definitely something to look, you have to be paying attention to the movie dojo, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, you heard him. You heard the man right here. I really appreciate that, man. It's an honor to have you here, brother.
Thank
And
you.
for the live audience watching right now, man, hey, how did you get into martial arts and the filmmaking business, brother?
Wow. I mean, it's just I think that everybody or most of the people that I know of, it's just a passion thing, something that it it's something that it's like a calling. When I was a kid around 7, I was like, oh, I was watching movies, watching comedy movies or action movies, and I was like, hey, I wanna be an actor, and it was just like a thought, a dream, and from then on, I just think I had it in me, like it was like stored inside, and it never went away, the idea or the desire of pursuing it. When I was a teen, that's when I started like actively doing street acrobatics, which was what I first got into. And I have a brief Taekwondo background, but in terms of martial arts, I mean, and this is no secret. Like I'm not a trained martial artist. I am a screen fighter, screen actor, and everything has been focused on the action movies and the filmmaking expression. So during all that time, I was just like, hey, how can I make this look good for the camera? And I would look at movies, obviously, study movies, watch movies, still do every day. It became like, well, if you would say, some people would call it like an obsession, like, hey, I just want to figure out how this is all put together. And that's how it all began, and that's how it eventually it led into doing something.
Nice, nice. Well, you again, like you said, you got that passion to learn and grow and to just keep getting better and better. And we got people watching right now. There we go. Entertainment headquarters says hello, Fred Samurai Guy, and special guest Jose Swashbuckler Manuel. Yeah, look at that, look at that epic intro. And wow, Jose can move, baby. That's
Oh,
right.
thank you.
That's right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's his awesome movements that made me go, all right, I got to try to reach out to this brother. And I'm going to show you guys. I know you guys enjoyed the intro. I'm going to show you something even cooler, a little snippet clip from a film called Ugano con Fuego,
Oh
starring the
yeah,
amazing Robert Samuel. Shout out to
I
him
love
and
him.
that whole
I love
filmmaking team.
Bobby.
Yeah, yeah,
I love Robert. I mean, it's been like such a great experience during all these years. Like I grew up in Puerto Rico. Right here, there's really no background of, especially like action movies like that. That's not something that is part of our culture. It is something like very alternative, and I was always like very into like this alternative type of artistic expressions. And eventually, when I started going to the Urban Action Showcase, and I started meeting great people there, great platform that I love. And every year I try to go. I go almost every year. And we have a great time. There's great people there, and we all become like brothers, family. We all look out over and after each other. And Bobby was one of those guys that was like, he saw my talent, started giving me opportunities, and I really owe him a lot. Like he's one of my mentors, and I really love Bobby a lot.
yeah. He is one of a kind.
Totally.
Shout out to see. We call him Bobby because we're cool like that. We call him Bobby. No, he's a gem, and he's kind of a mentor to me too. I never told him that, but
Oh.
he's given me some great advice as well, and I learned through watching him and his filmmaking journey. You know what I mean? But it's interesting how you say you don't traditionally have a martial arts background, but you have a little bit of taekwondo, but you're screen
Mhm.
you learn as you go, you improve and all that kind of stuff, and you get better. I mean, I would not from the way you move, brother, and you're still. I would never know, say, "Oh, this guy, he's not traditionally trained," But it's crazy because there's a lot of classic martial arts stars. You have Beardy, Leon Caryan, you have
Mhm.
Olay, who were not traditionally trained. Even Michelle Yeoh, she came from a dancing background.
Mhm. Mhm.
They became great screen fighters because they bust their ass, they work hard, and they were just really convincing on screen, and they're great at what
Mhm.
they do, which is what you do, my friend. You're great at what you do. Yeah, yeah,
Well, I thank you. I appreciate that. I think it just comes from actually the desire to learn and obviously the practice. Throughout my learning process, I've definitely done it like consistently. We
yeah.
always gathered people around. We always had cameras around. I studied communication, so I always was like close to the cameras, close to editing and close to my training, even though it was alternative. I was training on my own, but it was consistent. It was
Right.
like from I remember like when I was 16, 17 up until I was 23, I was doing this like almost every day or every other day, like consistently going for it, trying new things. And sometimes I wish that I was like trained properly because I know there are some stuff that I learned the hard way, and it would have been easier if I would have had like proper technique. But then eventually, as you get conscious about your body, conscious about yourself, then you start like, oh wait, there are certain ways that you can do this in order to save yourself from injuries,
Right.
and make yourself more safe. So I started like leaning towards the safety aspect eventually, and then I started like combining more of that and learning how pro filmmakers would do it so that I could replicate and do it over and over with a consistent result, right?
Gotcha.
Um,
And it is a nonstop training thing.
oh
Many
yeah.
many martial artists and actors and stuntmen that I've had here on the channel. It's every day, man. Let's go.
Hmm.
Let's go. Let's train and keep getting better and better. But you mentioned earlier about you did street acrobatics. Is that
Yeah.
like a combination of parkour with a little bit of tricking? Was that pre-tricking?
Yes. In Puerto Rico, I remember that at the time YouTube was starting. This was early 2005, 2006, you would say. Over here, we were like, browsing on the internet and watching, different acro teams from around the world. At the time, there was Team Chinese Box. There was this guy called Joey Igo that eventually had a brief participation also in the Jackie Chan stunt team. We would watch them like from afar, and we was like, "Oh, these guys are doing it. They're starting from their backyards, and they're doing this video. I mean, maybe I can try to do something like this. I mean, I wasn't trained, but I really enjoyed it, so I was like more
Yeah.
like I just want to try it.
Hmm.
And then because of it being like early days, you would say that in a way we were blessed that we didn't have a lot of eyes on us, so that would give us like a way to express without really feeling like, hey, there's a lot of people judging us. It's like pre-YouTube, there's not a lot of people here really.
Yeah. Right.
So being an introvert myself, I was like, hey, if I do this and I just post it there, I mean, it can become my thing. And there were other people that would do like their stuff, and I was just doing that when it really wasn't that popular at the time. We were like, the alternatives.
Right.
Then eventually it just started becoming a thing, and but at when that happened, my skills were honed so in a way that I could hop in and maybe do like a little feature film and just test it out and see what can happen with that. So it just grew slowly up until what it is right now, and
Yeah.
my humble career.
Copy that. Copy that. Awesome. Awesome. And speaking of martial artists, legends, we got Chucky Curry watching right now. What's up,
Oh, that's
Chucky?
awesome.
Yeah, man. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah.
Thank
Marco
you.
G. Marco G had a question for you. He says, "Are there any action stars that you feel really know how to do martial arts for the camera?"
Oh yeah, man. I mean that I can say a lot about that because I try to pay a lot of attention to specifically something that I pay a lot of attention is the timing. There are many martial art actors. I mean, it might sound cliche, but you know, my biggest martial art actor, and I know it is for many of us, is Jackie Chan, because of many things. Obviously, you know, everybody that came from that school as well, Samo. Oh yeah, um, at Samo Drenbu, but Jackie, as I've been studying him, his movements, I realized so many things. Like he translates his timing into his acting, and when I started understanding that, then when you go to the script writing, you can write thinking about timing, you can write thinking about rhythm, and then it becomes like a musical kind of thing, like it has a beat. So eventually, when you start creating, now you feel like you can do things that feel like they have a beginning, middle, and end, like they're a little dance number, like a little music, and you kind of like understand the process to a point of structure. So when that happened for me, then I started feeling free. I started understanding, oh, I know how to do this now. Because before you would get so you would say, I would say in my case, confused about, hey, how do you build this? Is this about doing a complex martial art fight? Is it about making cool moves? Is this about making a lengthy fight? What is this about? So when I started understanding that, it's like, oh, the way that you tell a story as a little rundown. I studied radio, so when you do a rundown, you have a beginning, middle, and end, and then you put that in radio, in music also. You put it in a structure of well, verse, chorus, right? So when I started looking at it like that, then I started like, hey, I can put this in a specific time, tell the story in this time, and it's the proper time. If I need a 6 minute song, then I'll build a 6 minute song. But does it call for that? No. Maybe this song is just a 1 minute thing, you know, maybe rhythmically that's what I need in this moment of the short, or this moment of the feature. So when you construct things like that, you can pace the audience, and you can start slow, and then you can build them up, and then you, just like a music. So when I started learning that, that's when I felt like I understand the structure of how to create this now, and I got even more excited. Like it excites me even more now because I understand that aspect, and I immediately can come up with how to build rhythm in my head without really needing to hey, I need to do like a two full twist or three 360s, because in a way, you know, I mean, I'm now 36, so I'm still
Get
quite
out.
young.
Get out.
Yeah,
You're in your 20s. You talking about?
no, man, I wish. But it comes to a point in which you're like, how can you entertain, and what is the basics of entertainment? And then when you hear the rhythm, when you feel the rhythm, you're like, this is how you get engaged in something. It's about
Right.
that rhythmical thing that keeps you going. And I've seen many great movies that is, man, the rhythm is so insanely perfect that you're like drawn to it. You know, you just stay there watching it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it.
it's mesmerizing, you know.
Yeah.
And now everybody has their own their favorite martial arts star, right? Their
Oh
favorite
yeah.
action star. Everybody has their their own, like they have their top 10, but they have their number one, right?
Right.
And I've there's been a few people, and to each his own, but there's been a few people that I know that not really big fan of the Jackie Chan fighting style,
Mhm.
right? They
Mhm.
just want their straightforward stuff, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And then I was like, it's cool, to each his own, right? But then I show them a fight scene, and they're like, yeah, it's just not really for me. And then I'm like, watch it again, and I was pointing out stuff. I was like, pay attention. Do you see what he's doing? And then
Yeah.
I like, pay attention. Like, I want you to
Mhm.
analyze it. And they're like, holy shit, he grabbed that, threw that over there, grabbed it this way, spin that way, went over. Like, how did he do that? I was like, so you're not paying attention. And they were like, wow, they didn't
It's
notice it at first.
it's
When you break it
detailed.
down, it's
It's
insane.
it's very detailed, and you can
Amazing.
see. I've been looking lately about. I've been looking at movies and focusing on background actors, focusing on extras and how they build rhythm with them as well, because they
Yes.
need to keep a certain timing with the foreground. And in his movies, you have this wide shots, and in the wide shots, everybody needs to be connected. Everything needs to be timed. So that sense of, if you go this way, I will go this way, and when I go this way, you go that way.
Hmm.
It looks organic, but it is not. It's a lot of thought. It is
Right.
unnatural, but it looks like that was just created out of the blue. It was a lot of thinking and a lot of pre-rehearsing and coordinating, which makes it, even for me, it makes it even more amazing, because you're just watching it thinking that it just came to be just like that.
Right. Right. It looks simple, but it's not, for sure.
Hmm.
But back to your question of, oh, we got some game of death quotes here. That's right. Oh my goodness. That's right. That's right. Represent. But back to your question that Marco had for you about, do you know any legit martial artists? Yeah,
Jackie Chan.
yeah, 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 right. But yes, Jose does know legit martial artists that are legends of the game. He's worked with them. What? Cynthia Rothrock and Mark
Oh
Strange.
man, I love them. They're great. They're
Man, we
great.
gotta we gotta talk about how
I
what your
know.
experience is working with them.
Wow, man, it was amazing. I mean, working with them both in two different projects, I can't disclose yet, but the fact that I worked with them, and there's something about the martial art actors that I've worked with that I obviously admired before I ever worked with them, is the fact that their character is as consistent at what they're projecting, which is something that sometimes a lot of people say, like, hey, never meet your heroes, and you're out there like scared because, hey, what if I meet this person, and maybe, I mean, we're all human beings, we are all trying our best, like, I'm
Yeah.
aware of that. But these people, they give their best. They give their best, and it's so exciting to really meet them, because it's like, hey, we're all humans, it's hard for all of us, but we're here really trying to live the philosophy of the martial arts, and to be good people, and to
Yes.
to give respect. And that's something that, wow, for me, it was one of the greatest gifts. Working with Cynthia was a shock, because I even went into the project, believe it, I didn't know that she was going to be in the project. I learned about that when I was there.
Oh
So
wow.
I was shocked when they said, hey, Jose, here's Cynthia, she's going to play this character. And I didn't associate the name Cynthia with Cynthia Rothrock yet. I was just right there next to her. And then I look and I'm like, nice meeting you. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I stood up like, wait, I mean, you're Cynthia Rothrock. I mean, this is a blessing to be working with you here. I didn't know this. It just happened. And with
Yeah.
Mark, it was the same experience. It was the same team of people, but when I went in, I remember that I'm just, I knew that there were some people that I was going to work with them in that second time around, but with him, I didn't know. And then I know that he's from the UK, and we're in a different country, and I'm like, wait, that's Mark Strange. And then I'm like, no, get out. Like, how is this guy here? So I went in, I introduced myself, and this guy, man, he's like, wow, just he's just great. I have so many great things to say about Mark. We spent a lot of time together. We shared a lot of great things. We talked about movies, we watched documentaries, and best thing of all, we were able to fully perform together. And I know that he's very excited about this project as well. We're very excited for you guys to see it when it comes out. Very,
Oh
very
man.
excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited. So yeah, a return episode in the future.
Oh
Jose's
yeah,
gonna,
yeah,
Ho-
yeah,
Jose
yeah.
gonna, Jose gonna come back to the dojo and look even younger. You're de-aging. What the hell, man? But yeah, this is epic. Yeah, we got to talk about
Yeah,
your projects with them in
incredible
the future for
people,
sure.
incredible
Yeah.
people, and I really hope and I know that I'll work with them again. They're great, great people.
Oh yeah, I actually ran into Cynthia at a convention, which
Oh,
feels like 5 billion years ago. I have a picture with her somewhere. But Mark, Mark, I've had on the channel several times. He's hung out here, and I always tell him. I mean, we as much as we love Donnie Yen, legend, pioneer. As much as we love Scott Adkins, same thing, legend, pioneer. I always tell him, "Is like, dude, your fight in Yip Man 4 kind of stole the movie. It kind of stole the movie, man.
And
I always tell him that.
he's gonna come out with some very cool stuff, and a lot of people are gonna be very excited about seeing the Mark Strange, man, because he's bringing it this time, and I'm very excited, very
Yeah.
excited. Very very good times for this.
Yeah, he messaged me a while back. He's like, "Get ready." I'm like, "Oh shit, let's go."
Yeah, man, I'm
Um,
excited.
yeah, yeah. We got people from Canada watching. What's going on? Yeah, people from all over the world checking us out right
Awesome.
now. Yes. Let's see here. Was there any other questions for you? Best Jackie Chan stunt, in your opinion? What's your favorite?
Wow. Oh, wow, 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 that's a good question. I really haven't thought about that a lot, but I would say, I mean, every time I think about his stunts, when he talks about the stunts, I think about the one that he did in Police Story, which is kind of like it's kind of like the one that
Which
he
one?
always
I
talks
know
about
it's
when
the one.
when
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
when he jumps and slits down the
Insane.
the the pole with the lights and all that. I like the bus. There's a lot of stuff in
Yeah,
Police Story, I would say.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, but I could go on and on with about Jackie
Yeah.
Chan, man. If I
Right.
start with one question, I end up talking about the whole thing. But in terms of stunts, I would say that's the first one that comes to mind. Although, in terms of what I usually look what I pay attention to when I see a Jackie Chan movie, it's just how he paces himself. Is the fact that he can go from a stunt to a fight to a moment of acting and back to fighting and back into that is what really mesmerizes me because sometimes when we see action movies, we have the fight, and during the fight, the people are just fighting. But when you see a Jackie Chan movie, you're not only seeing fighting, you're seeing fighting with a moment of acting, with a
Hmm.
moment of story, with then going back to fighting. And that is really there's a lot of stuff that he's paying attention to in the narrative, and he's paying attention to the character, which is important because for me the character is very important. You have to keep the character. People need to see that you are that person in that time, and you have to break the rhythm in order to show that, and express something with other parts of your body, maybe in a close-up, maybe with a wink, maybe with something, and he does that very well. So that's why what I pay attention the most when I see the Jackie Chan movies, or any movie
Yeah.
for that matter.
Well, no, well said. There's storytelling during the fight,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
extremely hard to do. But that's
yeah.
why these guys are the professionals.
Oh yeah.
What's some of your favorite martial arts movies that you used to watch growing up?
Wow, I watch a lot of old stuff sometimes. I have a lot of guilty pleasures with. I see a lot of Bruce Lee movies. I see a lot of. I was watching Kung Fu series yesterday. Like I just sit down, I just
Yeah,
watch it like back to back, and I just stay there and watch Kane
yeah.
and I don't know. I don't know if it's a rumor, but someone said that Donnie Yen is going to play Kane.
Yes, I was getting ready to. Yeah, yeah. I heard about. I
That's
know that's insane.
that's a perfect casting.
Yeah,
I That's something I want to see.
yeah.
I obviously I love Donnie Yen, and I know he would nail a character like that. And the
Oh,
fact that the background, usually lately, I mean, I don't want to say there's time for a change of trend, but I like this sandy, gritty, west or sepia tone kind of movies. Like lately, we have more of the slick, more city type of action movies. I want to have this rustic thing, which leads me in a. Oh yeah, yeah. I was watching it on Plex also. Yeah, they have the whole thing there,
nice.
the
Nice.
full 3 season.
Yeah,
Um, so that's something that I really liked about the Fist of the Condor with Marco. Also, the fact that he puts this rustic background and
yeah.
all this this other textures that were the ones that you usually saw in a traditional kung fu movie. You know, you had wood, you had grass, you had
Hmm.
other type of
Yeah.
textures that I feel like brings it back, to the
Yeah.
roots, even artistically. So I enjoy that a lot. I like
Yeah.
that a lot, and
Yeah.
I like to watch stuff like that. Uh, Obviously, all the old movies, and what else? I mean, I love in terms of more modern stuff. Obviously, a lot of Donnie Yen, Flashpoint. I love a lot. Killzone. I
Yeah.
love a lot. I
Yeah.
heard that there's a Flashpoint 2 coming up, I think, or something.
I'm
I mean,
scared, but I trust
I
it
hear you. I hear
because
you.
Donnie's a lot older now, so I'm
Yeah, yeah,
scared.
but they're bringing Kenji back for the
Okay.
coordinating. So
Okay.
I mean, that
Ooh.
guy, I don't think that guy's. I mean, he's insane.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of my heroes.
Oh
But
yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
Kenji's incredible. So I think they might redeem the Flashpoint. They might bring
Okay.
something. I always like to look out for the best because I want to get excited. I've been all of my life. It's been like, hey, it's time for, hey, come on, who's gonna bring something? Who's
Yeah.
gonna keep me entertained? I want to see another action movie. For years and years, it was Jackie, and you get so spoiled because you think like life is forever, man, and then you
Yeah.
realize, and that, hey, but the guy keeps making movies, and that's also something that's like, my God,
But isn't that what
Karate
it's all
Kid,
about? I know Karate Kid with Ralph Macchio. Hopefully that's fun. But that's what it's all about. Like what you just said, being excited, invested,
yeah,
anticipation, and because we love this genre, man. Martial arts and action genre. We will support it forever for sure.
yeah,
But let's talk about some of your other projects here, and then we're gonna lead up to the big one, baby. We're gonna
all right.
lead up to it. Yeah. This one right here, you got to come. Which one? This fat.
Oh, Jared, I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're talking about this project. I love him. Jared is a great filmmaker. This guy showed me how much grit sometimes you need in order to make independent movies. And I remember I just finished this. I actually have a copy here. So this is the first movie I did, The Witness. So when I did this movie, just after this one, I remember that I was talking to. Oh, there it is. So I was talking to Jared, and he said, "Hey, I want you to be a part of this project down here in Wisconsin. I want to bring you." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, let's do it." So I went over, and we were nailing this movie. Like sometimes we just had what we had. We just had what we had. We just had the camera, and this guy showed me how to use perspective and timing to change camera angles without necessarily sometimes even needing a cameraman, because sometimes you're in that position. Sometimes you are
Right.
incredibly. And I've learned from some filmmakers that, hey, you need to do what it takes. And he taught me about needing to do what it takes. Like I was thinking, like, as I keep going and doing movies, I want to bring more people in. And hey, I'm all about creating with people, but sometimes when you want to get something done and you want to just show an aspect of you, and you don't have the resources, let's say at the time, to bring something about, you just have to find a way to engineer yourself out of
Right.
it. And that's part of the fun, you would say, but it takes a lot of guts. So Jared that's a guy that I admire a lot. He's done like 5 feature films. Most of them well, all of them he wrote, edited, directed, starred in it. And he was the first guy that when I saw him, I was like, you're teaching me something. And it's that if you want to do something, you will find a way to do it. There are ways. So it's just a
Right.
matter of keeping that open mind and saying, hey, well, if I can't do it because there's not someone there, then I'll find a way to do it this way, and we'll get it done regardless. So that I learned a lot from him, a lot.
Nice. Well, shout out to Jared.
Oh
Shout out.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But not to segue away from where we're going, but I wanted to go back. Do never feel ashamed of enjoying some good old fashioned Bruce exploitation. Okay, don't feel ashamed. There's some good Bruce exploitation movies out there with legit fights. Ewan Will Ping
Yeah.
did some of the fight
Oh
choreography. I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah, there's some legit
Yeah.
fun fights.
I'm
And I
I'm glad
had
that
go
that
ahead.
I'm that safe place.
Yes, yes. You're safe here in the dojo with Samurai Guy, man. But yeah, I had Michael Worth, the great Michael Worth, and
Oh,
Frank Jang here. We were on the channel and we were talking about their Bruce exploitation documentary. Have you seen it yet?
I is it new?
I think it's still
I
coming out. Well, you know what? It's gonna have a worldwide release soon.
Oh, I
And
want to see that.
I think there might be a Blu-ray as well. You got
Oh,
it.
I'm buying
It
that. Oh, of
killed
course.
it killed at all the festivals. Their whole documentary. They even interviewed a lot of the actors that are still alive.
I
So
want to
yeah,
see that.
yeah,
I want
man.
to see that.
Bruce Lee and everyone. So yeah, don't be ashamed. I'm gonna segue back to that. But yeah, speaking of short films, you got Retribution right here. Look
Wow,
at that.
that's short, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember I think every time I put on the director's hat, I always call it an experiment because I'm always trying to see what I learned in my previous experience, whether it is with other filmmakers or just, sitting down and learning. And I put it to the test because I want to see what works, what doesn't work. There was a lot of things that I learned in that short. It had a lot of fights. There were a lot of people involved, but mainly I was understanding a lot about timing, a lot of, well, motion blur and things that are just textures that sometimes they take away from the action a little bit. I think
Mm,
I learned that like on the way out of that short. So there's a lot of things that I look back and I'm like, this I still didn't know this at this point, and I learned this later. And it's cool for me to, because in each project I learn something, and that's part of what excites me, because you're like, oh, I figured this out now. So next time, I'm gonna put it in.
nice. Copy that. And I know you held up the DVD for The Witness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can we still buy that right now if we like go to Amazon Prime or
I don't think it's I have some copies still with me. I have like a box of copies. I'll probably at some point I'll put them online for sale.
okay?
But that we only have DVDs. I think I had like some Blu-rays, but they're out of stock. And this is rare. This is rare. And I think that maybe out there, maybe on eBay, you might
Right,
get a
right, right.
copy.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
at some point I'm gonna.
you should autograph the DVDs when you sell them.
I mean, if it's worth something, of course I'll sign it. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hint, hint. Signed copy. Hint, hint. But yeah, man. Can we watch this digitally at least?
I think there's a page, a Puerto Rican page that stores like some action, well, movies in general, not action
Okay,
movies,
okay.
because we don't have many. But I'll double check and I'll send you the link
Sure.
so
Yeah,
that you have it there and you can share it
yeah,
with anybody. I want people to be exposed to everything that I've done. Is for that, is to share it, right?
yeah, for sure. Comedies. You're gonna be doing some more comedies in the future.
Wow, man, that movie. This is a local movie here in Puerto Rico, Barrote Films. I remember. All right, so there's a story about this movie that well, it's kind of, it's kind of nasty. I mean, not nasty in a really bad way, but in like a Nickelodeon type of nasty way.
Okay.
All right, so I was doing this scene in which you see that they have me. I'm like this guard at a jail,
Okay.
and these guys are trying to question him. This is a full-on comedy. There's no action in this.
Right.
So
Right.
they wanted me to do the scene sitting down in a chair, and with the rope around, just all just there as a prisoner. And I'm like, this is like too simple. So I just wanted like to do something different. So I told them, like, how about you tie me, but you tie me upside down.
Oh my God.
And then I started like doing the scene with lines and all that, like upside down. The thing is that since I came with that out on the spot, well, we really didn't rehearse the camera movement towards, and the time it was off. So I had to do it like quite a lot of times until the point in which I was like getting sick to the stomach. So I
Oh
had to
no.
stop in order to hurl back in the back room, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!" like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Okay." So I went back, opened the door, and everybody's just there standing, like looking at me, like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, Yeah, I mean, I needed a minute, but let's go ahead and
Yeah,
do it. But it was funny. I think it was funny. I know that everybody was like shocked because they thought that I was getting. I mean, I was sick, but in a way,
yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
was my idea, so I brought it
Right,
up.
right,
I put it on myself. Let's just say.
right. This man suffers for his craft. That's right. That's right. Oh my
Sometimes it'd
god.
be too much.
Yeah, after Ugando con Fuego, which we're going to get to in a second here, I had to go look up your other work, and this is in my queue right now. I'm going to be watching it this weekend. But boom, man, I saw some of the fight scenes from this,
Oh,
and I was just like, dude, this looks like a lot of fun. So tell us about
yeah.
this project.
This movie I love. I mean, this was definitely that moment in which I was like, well, I mean, I guess you are professionally doing this. You know, when I did this movie, I was very, very happy. It was like a complete experience. But all the backstories about how I get into those projects are really are kind of crazy stories. They're movies on it on their own, you would say. When I met Pema Dondup, the director of The Man from Kathmandu, which he is a person that I appreciate so much. He's been like a father, a mentor to me. But at the time when he reached, he just saw one short film that I did, and he asks me like, hey, this is out of the blue, okay, like I'm like sitting down like in Puerto Rico, and then boom, I get a message Facebook, and then he's like, hey, Jose, huh, how are you? I'm Pema. I'm doing this movie down in Nepal. I want an actor for the lead role for this movie. And immediately I'm like, is this for real, or what
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is this about? You get like you get a little scared, and I'm like, I mean, I play the yes game because you never know, and I'm like, yeah, 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 of course,
yeah.
I'm interested, yes, yes, yes. And then he's like, okay, well, I'll get back to you. Well, next thing you know, a year passed, so I'm like, I mean, whatever.
Well,
I already
that project's gone. Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot about it. And then
right.
one day, I'm sitting down again, and he's like, boom, message again. And he's like, hey, we're almost getting ready to do this project. Are you still on board? And I'm like, now I'm getting sweaty because I'm like, hey, is this for real? What is this all about? So I start
Right.
like talking to him back and forth. I start like trying to search for some information and ask around. I talked to the director of photography, who he's Latino also, so we kind of bonded, but it's still not enough info for me to really understand reliability. And then I'm like, and then he asks me like, hey, do you want to be also the action director? So I'm like, now, you start like thinking, is this for real? Because this is a golden opportunity. You're wanting to have an opportunity to express what
Yeah,
up until now, and you don't want to get disappointed, and especially you don't want nothing wrong to happen to you. And
yeah,
I'm from Puerto Rico, so my family is very traditional. They're like, hey, where are you going? What's this? What's that? You're taking a risk. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't have anything to lose. So when it happened, he told me also like, hey, I don't want you to bring some of your guys, some of the team that you work with. So that was like
yeah.
also like, are you serious? Like, you're gonna let me bring some of my guys? Like, I mean, all right. So I went in first alone, and I mean, I was ready to whatever happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just had, I know that I signed a contract. I knew that the opportunity was at from based on my experience was legit. I have no agent, so I do all of this on my own, and I pray to God that everything's gonna be fine. And
Yeah.
when I got there, I mean, I was very happy that the opportunity was for real. I remember walking like the second day I was there. I was we're staying at a place called the International Club in Nepal. And this place, it's like it's beyond. It's such a contrast of culture. You start like watching all of this, and then suddenly you're like, you're gonna shoot an action movie here. So then you start like getting very excited. There's so many things over there. Like there's monkeys. There's so many things that you're like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like I can't see this from where I come from.
Yeah.
It's so contrast, and a lot of spirituality. The movie has a spiritual connotation as well. So and I'm all for understanding that aspect of life as well. So it was a lot of things coming together. So I was shocked. Then after a week, I talked to Pema, and he said, "Okay, let's bring the guys in." I brought Downey Medina from Canary Islands, and he has his own team down there, Brotherhood. These guys are amazing. And Angel Vasquez, who is like my brother, he pretty much grew up with this thing here with me in Puerto Rico. We learned together, and he played one of the actors, and he also did photography. So we started like blending all of this stuff together, and we come out with this movie, that I really appreciate. Like, this project is very, very close to my heart. It gave me a lot of confidence. At the time, I didn't know how much I knew. I realized when I was there, when I was given the proper tools, that hey, you've been doing this for a while. You kind of know what you're doing, but you go there thinking that, hey, maybe I just go there and these guys are paying money for something, and when I get there, I don't know how to handle this. And but it was on the contrary. I think the message that I want to convey is that there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of skill, and I really hope that everybody gets their opportunity, because
Yeah.
it's just a matter of having the opportunity to do it, that you can prove yourself and you say, I knew it. I knew that I can do it, and just trusting yourself enough to wait for that. Because hey, I did The Witness was when I was 21. I did Kathmandu when I was 29.
Wow.
All right. So this is not one right after the other. I was ready to quit. I
Yeah.
remember one day watching martial art movies at home after all that, before the Kathmandu movie, and I found myself like scratching my head saying, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
are you doing this? Like,
Yeah.
go out, do something different. Why are you doing this redundant thing in which you sit down and you just see this over and over, like, Clockwork Orange type of thing, like just there with your eyes like this up until like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Why are you doing? Yeah. But then you know what, man? Like, I mean, I can't say the opposite, because this is from experience.
Yeah.
You trust yourself, believe in what you're doing,
That's right.
give yourself the chance. And
That's
I
right.
say it from the heart, and I get emotional, because my life has been like this. It's been like wanting to do something and then just holding on to that thought. I'm like, I know in my heart, then suddenly, boom, something happens, and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
incredible, really.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. But yeah, I agree with you. There's so many talented people out there that just need the opportunity to
Oh
express
yeah.
themselves and get in the business, and hopefully more people get that opportunity. But also people that are not experienced but want to try it and do it, just do it, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Just
yeah.
just do it. Just do it. I had a practical effects maestro, Joe Castro here on the show, and he's never acted before. He's just an effects artist, creating amazing
Hmm.
things. And he's just like, I have no experience acting, but I just did it. I was
you
asked to
create
do it. I just did it.
you
Just go
create
in and do it.
yourself.
Do the best you can. Yeah, you just do it.
Hey, if
Yeah.
you're an artist, part of creation is creating yourself. I don't have a skill. All right. Well, how do I have it? Well, you have to experience it. You have to look for information, and then you immerse yourself in the process. And if you are interested enough, you'll end up doing it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all it takes.
Yeah. It's always the nervousness and fear of failure, you know.
I
But
know.
but but like you just said earlier, you got nothing to lose. When you have
No, man.
nothing to lose, fuck it.
One life.
Just do
One
it.
life. It's like, hey, what do you want? What excites you?
Yeah.
What gets you excited? I
Yeah.
mean, don't you want to do something that it excites you? I mean, we
Yeah.
all have to do things sometimes that we don't want to do,
Right.
But hey, root for the things that you also want to do. You need to put yourself in, like, hey, I want to see myself doing that because I enjoy it. And it's
Yes.
just a process that it's so personal. And whatever failure we could have, it's all based on external judgment, all this things that maybe they're the expectations of other people. But
Yeah.
what do you expect from you? I mean, I suggest you do what makes you happy. And when you have to do something that doesn't necessarily make you happy, then just do it. It's fine. Just take those pauses.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah.
just do what you have to do. But don't forget yourself. Don't forget yourself, because for me, all my confidence comes from believing in myself, believing in the things that I thought that I could do that were so crazy. And then other people, I would get that a lot, like, hey, I mean, that's not even a thing. And I'm like, I'm gonna prove that this is a thing, at least for me.
Yeah.
And then now, boom, I don't know, like 17 years later, then you look online and it is a thing. It
Yeah.
is a thing. There's a lot of people doing it, a lot of talented people around the world. There's a channel with Preston, and he interviews people they do it, and we all share the same energy. And look what it
Yeah.
became. From
Yeah.
nothing, now it is actually something. And then you see all the non-believers, like, they want to get into it now.
Right.
They want to do it now. So
Yeah.
sometimes the vision is just, something that is still not there, but you know that it is a thing. And you have to obviously thank the people that saw it first. Obviously, the industry that was built in Asian countries, Hong Kong, all those movies. When I saw Marco, for example, seeing another Latino doing this, it's like, my God,
Yeah.
this guy, and you get so excited because you're seeing how it becomes concrete, it becomes tangible now from an idea. Now it is a thing, and people are talking about it, and then you make friends through it, and it's just
Yeah.
it's beyond what I was expecting. It is creation. It's creating and watching the process of it. It is not
Art.
walking into. Yes, it is art. It is
Yeah.
art.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. And the first time I saw Kiltro,
Oh my
I,
God.
I said, who is that?
Oh yeah.
I was like, who is that badass? Oh my goodness.
No, I remember. Wow, I remember watching Kiltro and just was like, oh my God. I mean, that scene
The
in
alleyway
which,
fight.
oh yeah, that
The
fight
alleyway
isn't.
fight.
It,
I was
it's
like, this
still
is
it's
insane.
still up there. And I talked every time I talk. The last time I talked to Marco. Marco's a great guy. I really admire him. He really one of those people that really also like supported me and gave me a chance. I have nothing but great things to say about Marco, and I'm always very excited to see about everything that he's doing. I was watching that fight. I was in college, and I remember like going bananas over it. Like, oh, yeah, I want to work with this guy in the future. I don't know how this is going to happen. I remember, and
Wow. You manifested it.
yes, I mean,
Wow.
I actually told him this. I told him that actually he. Okay, so this is a geeky secret. So I remember when I was in college, people would just celebrate Halloween and all that, people that
Yeah.
were around. And I was, oh, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna dress like Kiltro. I want you to paint my face. I want to come in and dress. All right, so they painted my face and all that. It was in October. I remember that obviously, a couple of years ago, 2020, around, Marco actually gave me the call to be in the Fist of the Condor around October. And I told him, like, hey, I need to tell you something. Like, there was one October in which I was dressed as Kiltro, man. Around this time in college,
Yeah.
I was looking at your movie, and I was like, at some point, I want to work with this guy. And I remember I tried to get into a project of his before, and sometimes this happens. Like, I wanted to. Sometimes, obviously, I've worked every now and then as a stunt performer as well. Um, and I don't do it a lot because sometimes I don't feel a lot of confidence only being a stunt guy. There's a lot of things that are expected, and you have to pick your battles in terms of stunts.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with that. And I really respect the stunt community a lot because there's a lot of things that these guys do that are very physical. And obviously there is a creative aspect, but there's a lot of physical aspect. And if someone asks me to do something and I'm not comfortable, I'm like, hey, maybe I'll break a bone there. And I remember talking about this stuff with Marco as well. But I remember that I tried to get in as a stunt guy because I really just wanted to work with him. I mean, I really didn't. I just like, hey, I want to work with you. Like, I want to be in one of your movies. And eventually, they called me to do Kathmandu out of the blue. I go there, and I remember at the time I connected also with this great guy, also Andy Longuyen, who was shooting. I think at the time he was shooting Luc Van Tien. Either I have to double check with him. Was it before? I think it was before I was doing my movie, and then I was finishing mine. We were talking back and forth. Great guy, really admire
Yeah,
him.
Andy's
Want to
great,
work with
man.
him.
Yeah,
He's
he's great.
incredible. One of the people that I also connected during the journey. And then Marco, I started like posting stuff about the movie, obviously promoting it online. And then he said like, hey, you got some cool stuff there, man. I see that you're doing it, you're getting there, and I want to work with you. And I was like, oh my god, I mean, this is great. So when the Fist of the Condor came about, it was another shock because I remember this was during the pandemic. I had to do create that's another story. But when I got there and I met him, I mean, I really don't know uh, the expectations. I mean, on from his end, but he was expecting, but even more than expecting, he was ready to push me. So
Nice.
Marco's process is more physical. Like the way that he creates the action, it's like we are. Sometimes it feels like we were like in a. We're. It felt like we were really fighting. Like
So
he,
so it feels like this is what you this
yeah, man.
this picture is amazing, by the way. This
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing.
E- Ernesto was kind enough to take that picture for me because I wanted to have that one before we left at the time.
Yeah.
And good times, man. I remember just feeling like grateful, because that's something that I always wanted to do. Work with Marco. He's one of my heroes. He always will be.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that I was there finally, and I had this great moment in which I had this fight with him, and we were going at it, and how he expected me to do something, and he was like, project your kick, do this, do that, until he got the result. And then they were kind enough to give me way into thinking like, hey, Jose, do you like this? What do you think about this? So it was so the involvement was it was it it's beyond my expectation, man. I mean, there was a lot of respect from both parties, but definitely from mine, because these people, I saw Kiltro, I saw Mandrill, I saw Mirage Man, I saw
The Redeemer,
all of
man.
his movies.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
his movies, Redeemer.
Yeah,
I've
man.
seen all his movies. I've seen his behind the scenes, everything. So it was great times to be there working with both of them, and to really acknowledge them as the real original, the original Latin dragon, and having the Ernesto as the real pioneer of the action martial art genre in Latin America.
Yeah.
And they opened my eyes into possibilities. So their contribution, and they still keep going. Now they're down there, shooting Diablo with Scott Adkins, and they're all
Yeah.
together again. And I'm here like, oh, like, it's so exciting. It's very exciting, man.
Yes. And there's a project coming up. I got a chance to interview director and actor Brandon Slagle, and they're doing a
Oh
project
yes,
together. And I'm just like,
yes.
oh God, I can't wait for that too. But yeah, I'm so again, congratulations. I'm so happy that you got a chance to work with them, and that was a great fight on the beach. That's how you do it, on the
Oh
sand
yeah,
there. That was a great fight, man. Now,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
now is it
Great
is it
shots.
is it really that difficult to film on sand? To do a fight scene on sand? I've heard from other people that it's really hard. Is it
Well,
hard?
it depends on the sand. Like
Okay.
if you have wet solid sand, which were mostly the type of sand that we were standing on. I mean, sometimes yes, you could have your foot like down a little bit, or there's some texture there that you could mess up your footing. But we would try to find even areas as much as we could, and it is not like dry type of sand. It is more like wet sand, so it felt
Okay.
a little solid. I really don't, because if you ask me that question, I would do retrospect. Probably the first thing I would think, I would have seen that as a remark, but it wasn't. You know,
Okay.
that wasn't something that really. But I'll tell you something. Like, it's one of the hardest fights that I've been a part of because of the expectation of takes and the way that Marco likes to feel the fight. I really needed to go at it and have the contact. My
Right.
process when I create, and this is no secret, like, you know, I'm an open book. Like, I try to stack things more. I try to put something into the perspective that, you know, we just tap and it looks like we hit each other. But with Marco, is like the camera's where the camera's going to be, and if we need to show the actual contact, we need to show it. So there was more contact, and we went at it for 2 days, and I was like done, man. Like, I was done by the second day. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm glad this is over. But I would gladly do it again.
Right. Exactly. There you go. Copy that. Copy that. Do you feel um this film right here was the first time you kind of got the adventure buzz, the adventure vibe? Was this where it started a little bit, you think?
I really think so. I started. So here's the thing. After that movie, I've watched a lot of movies. I like watching old movies. I watch a lot of old movies, and I like silent movies, and I like the
Hmm.
history of movies. Sometimes I
Yeah.
sit down and I see biographies, a lot of actors from the old days,
Yeah.
Hollywood old days, and I was understanding, you know, the early days of silent movies and the actors from the silent era, which we always listen, we always, you know, we always see like Chaplin or Keaton or but there's this gentleman called Douglas Fairbanks,
Yeah.
who was the first Zorro,
Yeah.
and this guy, he was like, you know, I usually, you're trying to project into someone's character, like, who am I, you know, who am I in that area, who am I? When I saw Douglas Fairbanks, he's like this tall lean guy, and I'm like, hey, if that was my era, maybe I was this guy, you know. So I
Yeah.
started like
Yeah.
understanding his process, which is also very rhythmical, also very pantomime, speaking with your eyes, speaking with your body, and looking at his movies and understanding the origin of the swashbuckler genre. And that's how it started. Like, it all started making sense to me a little bit, and then how that translated into every action movie eventually, you know, from Douglas Fairbanks to almost polar opposites, like, yeah, Stallone or Bruce Willis. You know, they all have a sense of their own sense of timing and charisma within the action adventure genre.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started like going back to the roots. And there's this guy, which I rarely speak about. Um, the name, the Richard Talmadge. So this guy from the silent era, he was part of the team of Douglas Fairbanks. He was doing stunts at the time, and eventually he started doing his
Uh-oh.
for
Different.
Universal. So he was
Thought
one of
thought
the
I lost you there for a
first
second.
B action actors of the time. This Richard Talmadge guy.
Uh-oh. We got technical difficulties. Jose, you still there, brother?
Maybe
Hey,
leaning
what's going on?
more towards that will give me the opportunity to express more, more than the ability, like connecting the ability with the sense of charisma and projection, you know, and creating a character. So it was definitely after Kathmandu, for sure. There's a lot of things that I saw there culturally, a lot of colors that I think, you know, it just they just blasted up on top of me, and I just came back like, well, I guess this is part of me now. I have some green and I have some browns, and I remember, like, usually when you're in this traditionally modern situation, you wear colors, man.
Yeah.
You put something on. Right now I have this navy blue, for example, which is like something that I would wear throughout all my life. But you start like experimenting more and wearing different colors. And in Nepal I had like all this beautiful colors that just were just blasted on top of me, and that started like creating something different, and that led me into doing this new stuff, but that I've been doing now. Definitely working with Marco as well. Everywhere that you go and you have experiences, it's like you gather a little bit of it. But I'm trying to, how is this? How is does this affects me? If instead of just picking a color and just doing the same painting, is more like, what painting would I do with this color? So I bring about something that I try for it to come from an authentic place, from the best way that I can. So definitely I learn a lot from Fist of the Condor. I learn a lot from, and
There you go.
yes, I really hope that there's a part two as well, and really hope to work with Marco again. So yeah, that's pretty much why the adventure thing, it just started like growing on me more,
Yeah.
and hopefully I can get to develop it a little bit more, and see what
Yeah.
I can create with it, pretty much.
You mentioned Zorro earlier. I just got done recently revisiting The Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas, and the sword fights in that are so good. That movie's still great. It's still a fun adventure movie. There is no sequel.
I love Zorro.
There is no sequel. There is no Legend of
The
Zorro.
second,
That movie does not exist.
you don't like it?
No.
You don't like the Legend of Zorro?
No.
I really enjoyed it. To be, I
Okay.
like,
Okay.
well, I guess it has like a wholesome feel with the family and the kid and all that. Um, but they were both. Oh my God, I forget the name of the director. He was from
Mar-
Casino
uh, yes.
Royale also.
Yes. Campbell. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, no, not Bruce Campbell. Martin Campbell. Bruce
Yeah.
Campbell is
Yeah.
living
Ash.
there. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, Ash. Yeah, but Martin Campbell, I love him as a director. He
Oh, he's
directed The
great.
Foreigner as well,
Yeah.
with Jackie.
Underrated. That is a
Underrated,
extremely
totally.
underrated Jackie
It
Chan
is
movie.
underrated. It is
It's
under. I love it.
insane.
I saw the extended version as well. There's so many cool stuff
Ooh.
there.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know there was an extended version.
yes. I mean, if I think it might be, I think they had a copy around, but I know that the fights are a little longer, and you can
Oh,
see how, yeah, there's some cool stuff in the extended version that I enjoyed.
okay,
But
okay,
I love
okay.
that movie, and
Yeah.
Martin Campbell is great.
Oh,
I
legend.
love
Yeah.
the I love both of the Zorro movies. I think the second one had a, it's just the how he shoots stuff. It's
Uh-huh.
so timed, man. Like the camera moves, and it's with an intention, and that's the type of thing that I really, I really enjoy. That the
From a
blocking
from
that
a
they do.
from a filmmaking perspective, you enjoyed The Legend of Zorro.
No, no, no. Both of them are same style, I
Okay.
believe, in terms
Okay.
of how they create it. But I like both. That's what I'm trying to say. Like second one,
Okay.
I
Hey,
thought it was good also.
you like what you like. Really quick though, the Zorro series that's on Amazon Prime, is that any good? Have you seen that?
I've yet to see it.
Okay.
I saw some scenes. I think it looked good. I mean, based on the fact that obviously, probably there are at many given points. Obviously, during nowadays, we all have it. Like we're against the time. We can't take a lot of time to do some stuff. I think they went for the wides, and the obviously the movies are the movies. They
Right.
were like
Yeah.
intentionally made for just to be like, hey, these are the Zorro movies, period. So if at any given moment someone wants to do something related to Zorro with that intention, like the Martin Campbell intention, then it'll translate. But I really love Zorro. I like that they keep doing stuff. I like that they have a new series, and I wish that they bring more stuff about Zoro,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
toys, everything. You know, it's a
yeah.
great character. It's a very exciting
I
character.
think you'd be a great Zorro.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I would be more than happy to play that character. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that I would love to do. And if the opportunity comes around, man, I'm hopefully, who knows, you know. But I would love to play Zoro. I would love it. It's a great character with it has the romance, it has the comedy, the action, the fights, the adventure.
And you can do
The
all of that, so you're perfect. So you go,
Oh,
everybody,
thank you.
people watching right now, producers, all that, share this. Jose Manuel as the new Zorro. Let's do it. Zorro Project. Let's go. But
That would be
yeah.
incredible.
But speaking of being really great with bladed weapons, let's get to this, baby. Ugando con Fuego.
Oh, wow.
So good, so good. It blew me away. And when I interviewed Bobby and the cast and everyone else, the director, when it got to your fight scene, I love the in finale fight; it's great too. But when it got to your fight scene with Roxy, shout out to Roxy, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she's so talented. She's
yeah,
incredible, man.
yeah. Shout out to Roxy. When it got to your fight, I was not prepared for the awesomeness. And like when I'm going to tell you what I told Bobby and them, I screamed. I
Wow, that's
screamed.
awesome.
Yeah, I was like
I'm
watching.
glad.
I was like
I'm
watching the
glad.
fight right here. My wife was in the kitchen, and I was like, she didn't know what was going on. She ran over here. She was like, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "I'm just watching a movie." I had headphones on, so she didn't know I was watching a movie, and I was just like, "Oh shit!" That was my reaction. I was like, "What?" Because there's stuff in here I've actually never seen before, man. I've
Oh man,
never seen before. Yeah. So we're gonna everybody watching right now, be prepared for a little taste of Jose and Roxy and Bobby in action in Ugando con Fuego, which you can actually watch on free on YouTube. You can watch the whole movie, the short film
oh yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube. I
It's
highly
there.
recommend you watch the whole thing and share it. But enjoy this, guys. This is amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Awesome
Hey,
stuff.
ho. What? That fight scratched the action itch, man. And I've never seen with the technique, the filming techniques with the knife blade, with back and forth. You dropping it, she catching it. It gets knocked out of her hand, you caught it. That's when I screamed. I was like, "Oh my god. I've never seen anything like that before." And
Well,
that was like
I appreciate
amazing,
that,
man.
man. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember we trying, you know, to do the best that we could, and obviously
Yeah.
coming out with creative ideas. I'm excited every time that, you know, people actually see the things that we've been creating and they get excited like that. I mean, that's
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah. That's a little
beautiful for
taste.
me.
Yeah, you got to watch the whole short and enjoy that for sure. But yeah, man, I had to show the clip. I had to show the clip. And I was just like, dude, this is amazing, man. This is so good. So
Thank you.
how was it filming with old Bobby and that experience?
Incredible. I mean, we definitely we bonded a lot. We talk about all of us, you know, Nick and Orlando and Hector. Hector is like a Hector Soria. He's like a brother. He's helped me, you know, and he supported me. He's a brother. So these people, they're all like they're just part of my life in a way, in a very special way. So when we're doing these projects, we're really just, you know, a lot of people doing what we love and having the space to bond and to create. and to talk about this becomes like, our day-to-day bread and butter, and having that moment and space to actually share that with people that you love and that you connect with. It's just, what you want out of from an experience. Obviously, Roxy and the people down there in Tijuana. I mean, Angel Brofi, Miguel Peralta.
Yeah, yeah,
That guy. Those guys are like brothers and family right now. We talk almost every day. We're always like, "Hey, how are you? How's it going?" And we're always making plans. And I mean, I can't say enough good things about that experience of Jugando con Fuego. It was good times. It's just that what I remember, good times, a lot of great connections, and just people that are just passionate about something, and just literally finding the space and the time to put it together. And that's something that between Robert and the two Roberts, Robert Samuels and Robert Jefferson,
yeah,
they create that space, and they're always looking for us, that are the well, you would say the new gen, and giving us a chance, to and creating the opportunity to have it,
yeah,
because if it's not because of their creative brains and how they bring this stuff together, then it doesn't happen. So it's awesome that, Robert, coming from, Samo school, Wu Ping, and then
yeah,
now you having the exposure to the experience and to the person that was there, and giving you the opportunity, the acknowledgement, the support, the love. What else can you ask for, man?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
all it's something that I've never expected growing up, for it to even happen. You just see these grainy movies, and you think that it was done in a different dimension, that you'll never
right.
ever get to meet these people. And that's one of the pros, I think, from the internet and the new era. You can connect with your heroes, and feel like you can be there and spend time with them, and then they become like family.
Yeah,
It's
for
just
sure.
awesome.
It's surreal. Yeah,
It is surreal.
yeah, that's awesome. But you know, I had to show that fight. I had to show a clip. I had to show the clip of that fight, man, that represent. But now we have arrived. We have arrived to the land of the brave Lord.
Oh
This is
my god.
poster is amazing, by the way.
Thank you, thank you,
This
thank you.
all the artwork advertisements for this short film that you did, this phenomenal film. And congratulations on it getting shown at the Urban Action Showcase again. Expanded. How
Yes.
cool is that, man? How epic is that?
It was actually, I have to say, like, it was epic, but it was more, I mean, obviously, because it was shown there at the Urban Action. We're in the middle of the 42nd Street, and the AMC theaters, all the action fans are there. And we're all sharing our short films, our films. We're all there, like, hopping from one theater to the other. Let me see what you did. Let me see what I did. And we're all like connecting and walking around, talking about action movies, talking
Yeah,
about our merch and the things that we've been creating. But this time around, when I saw it, because I've been refining this little movie, man, it has taken the best of me, I would say. Like, it's been like this up and down with this thing, because I for some reason I woke up one day saying I need to do an adventure movie, and I want it to be like this, like that, like this, like that, and everything just, boom, it just came into this vision. And I've been like pursuing this vision for a long time. It became a comic book. It became a toy demo. It became like, even there's some video game visuals that I've been creating. Like, I wanted to create a full world out of
yeah,
this,
yeah,
based on Boriquén. Boriquén is the name of Puerto Rico in Taíno, being our native people here in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean, the Taínos. And the land of the brave Lord is the literal translation of Boriquén. So Boriquén means the land of the brave Lord. So I wanted to create this character, that is like, and by the way, I did a short film when a long time ago when I was in college, that had the same concept.
okay,
It was named differently. Yes, I have visuals of it around. I was fresh out of college, or during the college years, I would say. And I was already playing with this Operation Condor, Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of vibe. and I just stayed with that, and I created some short films back in the day. And I always had that, like you would say, not my first short film, but let's just say like the first short that I say, this was like probably the first short that I would feel like it was a short. A lot of things were like, test fights and stuff like that. So when I ended Fist of the Condor, I was already planning this project, but after having the opportunity to work with Marco, I immediately said, you know what? I need to do this. I need to do this. Um, I need to really work on this. By the time I was there with Marco, I created the Swashbuckler Studio, the company that I've been creating about action movies and the adventure theme, having it like in a more, I don't know. Let's just say, I mean, obviously, I like every type of action movie, whether it's a R-rated or PG-13 or whatever, just as long as it is good. But I
Mhm.
wanted to create something that had some colors, that had bright colors, that people could, that everybody could see, like the family could go see. So there's a lot of other influences that I have, like there's this show, Mexican show called Chapulín Colorado, or Chavo del Ocho, that is like a Mexican type of Charlie Chaplin with some adventure characters, but it was TV. So I'm just like putting all of this in a blender and seeing like how can I create like certain characters that would look different from each other, but they're part of this little world.
Yeah.
And started like diving more into character creation, clothing, and the wardrobe, and how everything affects the tone. And then I started like playing with VFX, started like doing matte paintings, changing backgrounds, trying to
Wow. Yeah.
clean some of the short. There's a lot of stuff in the short that I cleaned and I changed, to make me at least feel that I'm more immersed into the experience and feel that, hey, I'm here now. Most of the stuff, I mean, all of the stuff, were shot and on actual locations, here in Puerto Rico, which is part of one of the attractives. We have a lot of great places here, and
Nice.
there's a lot of other locations that I've been planning to visit, continuing this project if I have the opportunity. But I found some cool location. I'm like, I want to do a fight here, and maybe on the wides I'll just change some of this part. I'll just change it, and I'll just, even though we show something that is more modern, I can put like something that's old over there and try to make this look like more post-apocalyptic or more adventure type of thing, and
Hmm.
playing more with that and actually putting the fight together. So I would think, in terms of a filmmaker and a creator, it would be, humbly, the most complex project I've done. And I know that I can do a better, obviously, with better tools and all that. But given all the tools that I could gather, I try to create the full world, create
Yeah.
the whole world. And
Hmm.
that's why this project is for me, it's so important, because I placed all of my skills in it. And when the last time I saw it at the Urban Action, I exported the DCP and I just sent it, and I'm like, I try to make it look like as clean as I could. And it was the first time that I saw it, and I felt like, yes, this holds the project. Like, it felt like big format. And
Gotcha.
I was excited because I'd been like editing this in this laptop,
Yeah.
and obviously looking at it in a monitor and trying to see how big it can look, and it looks good. But when they put it up like that, and I could see that, the texture was there wasn't a lot, there wasn't, you still have some distortions here and there, because I
Yeah.
I go OCD sometimes with it, but it looked quite good. So yes,
Nice.
I've been very proud about it, because it's taken, a lot of people, they might say that I'm exaggerating, but it has been like, one of those projects that I've, really, it has gotten the everything out of me. So I'm happy that, I can share it here, and that there are people interested.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more than enough for me to have the space to talk about it, and to
Yeah.
know that it is appreciated.
Copy that. Well, let's show the audience here a little teaser trailer
Awesome.
of Boriken.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Getting chills. Getting chills. Now let's take a look at it again here. Let's look at the official trailer here. Let's have some fun and by all means, talk BTS, sir. Some behind the scenes and the creation of
Right.
this short film here, man. Phenomenal, phenomenal stuff.
This is
How many days did it take to film it?
well, it was from it wasn't consecutively, but I think it was like 8 to 9 days, I think it was.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, we went into some remote places. Sometimes we had to get very early morning calls, and when I say early morning calls, it's like being there, being on the spot at around 3 to 4 a.m. so that we could walk a couple of miles into somewhere and then actually shoot there. So it took a lot of grit to achieve some of the specifics
Mm,
of the movie.
yeah.
A lot. Everybody was very cooperative. In retrospect, it really was a challenging thing to do at some points. Most of these places, especially one of the waterfalls where they had the big tower where we are fighting, that place is not close. We had to walk with the equipment
Oh
and
man.
set up base. Well,
Yeah.
we used utility carts, and we worked our way around the process so that we could actually make it work. The collaborators at the time were very supportive, and I really thank them a lot for keeping up with it. I know it wasn't easy, and but I am, really, really happy that I did it. Wardrobe, everything we took care of. This is from a lot of towns here in Puerto Rico: Aguadilla, Arecibo, Utuado. We have some shots uh, down in wow, Macau. I mean, we went
Wow.
everywhere with this thing. So yes. Um,
Definitely getting I definitely got the Operation Condor vibes.
yeah, for sure. Eastern Condors, Operation Condor.
Yeah.
Um, this tower right there, that's a far location. This is Efrain Martinez, a great performer. Them too. There are professional wrestlers here in Puerto Rico,
Oh, nice.
and
All right.
they do stunts. Obviously, they do many other stuff. They're great actors,
Yeah.
but they come from a wrestling background,
Right.
and they have the acting. They have it down. They know
Nice.
story. So it was great to work with them.
And you did everything, right? You wrote and directed this?
Yes, and edit it. Like like
Man.
right here in this shot, for example. I mean, some people can tell it with the keen eye, obviously, but this shot, for example, like the four windows up there. So this, for example, that's a matte painting right there. The four windows up there, those are fake. The
Wait,
two
these?
background, yes, that's fake.
Wow.
The Yeah, the thing on top, which is
Uh,
like some cylinders and all that on top of the tower,
mhm.
right at the very top of the tip, that's fake as well. Right here down. Okay, so this is a matte painting as well, in that shot.
Where, here?
And no, the one before that, it's just that
Oh,
when you place it back, yeah,
okay.
that's a matte painting. Like those mountains, those aren't real. Like that
That's
I placed in.
that's phenomenal, man. I never would have
Thank
known
you.
that. Never would have known.
Yeah, I mean, and I was still like playing with it, like I was
Yeah.
still learning about it. Like the two objects, like down in the back at the green bushes down there, like
Yeah.
the train and that thing, that's fake.
Wow.
And
That's pretty impressive, man. It's awesome.
that's fake. And this right there, you see the guy that's down there with the earpiece.
Yeah.
So by his right hand, which would be our left side,
Mhm.
there's this concrete wall that I painted, down there, left, the other way,
This
yeah, close, no, the other way, the other way, right there. So right there, that had like some type of graffiti
yeah.
that was like too. It would just take away a lot from the colors, and I think that with the graffitis that were behind him, that was enough. So that wall with the green thing and all that, that's just
Yeah.
all placed in. So that's fake as
Wow.
well.
That's impressive, man. Impressive. So these guys are wrestlers. How cool is that?
Thank you. No, they're awesome. This is inside of a plane that was abandoned. Actually, after we shot there, a couple of months later,
Yeah.
they burned it down.
Oh my goodness.
The
Wow.
Yeah, they burned it down. So that was something that was starting to happen here in Puerto Rico. Like for some reason, I had this gut feeling that some of these locations were just gonna be around for so long, and I was like, let's just do it. Let's just do this as quick as we can because
Right.
something tells me, man, that the people are just gonna come here, and this is just gonna be done.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
and it just happened that eventually, like it started. That's like an oven there, man. That was so
Oh my.
hot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is a hot place in itself. So
I
yeah,
see you
this
doing this.
is.
I see the stunts right there. I see it.
Yeah. That was nothing there. That was just a jump. But I mean, anybody with some skill can do it. But
That's
it was like kind of slippery.
great action,
Um,
though, man. Just really great.
Thank you,
Oh, it's filmed great. It's so good.
thank
Look at
you.
that. Look at that. The girls are getting in on the action. That's right.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting in on it.
I really one of the things that I was paying attention was the timing between everybody and making sure that everybody was doing something on the idle times and everybody had something to do that was specific, so that
Yeah.
the screen looks full as much as we can. So that
That's,
I try to do that as much as we can.
I love this kick you do right here. Oh,
Thank you,
great.
thank you.
Great
This is
camera.
all
Look
fake
at
as
this
well.
stuff. Look at this.
Yeah, that's a lot of there's a lot of fake stuff. I mean, that the up there, like on the tip of the tower as well,
Yeah.
like all that stuff that looks like that's fake,
Yeah.
and the rocks is fake. All that stuff is fake, right down
But
the
still,
right
it's so
side as
well
well.
done, though. It's so well done. I mean, look at I love the camera work and the fight choreography, man. This is what it's all
Thank you.
about. That's what it's all about.
Those windows there, they're fake also.
Hey, movie magic, man. Movie magic.
Yeah, I've been trying to, learn more about that to enhance whatever I can, every time that I can, like, hey, I would like to see something like this on the screen. I mean, I can place it
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah, for sure.
work with it a little bit. Um, this waterfall also, it's down in Arecibo area. Puerto Rico has a lot of beautiful places, so
Yeah.
we definitely have a lot of great spots here. It's a great place to visit if you like the. Yeah,
That cracks me out right there, man. That's great.
yeah. I wanted to put some dancing and some also. Yeah, and I like the how do you say the poses,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wanted to play something that looked like, and I'm by all means, I have to pace myself in terms of how I place myself. So it takes a lot of thinking because sometimes it really doesn't come natural to me. I need to, okay, let me just, does it look good? Look at the pose, look at the
Right.
lines, and
Yeah, yeah,
let's see how it looks. And
yeah,
we
yeah,
play with it until it
yeah.
works.
It's
So
fun. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Get a little romance brewing here, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, the land of the brave, baby. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So, just a quick plot synopsis. Let everybody know what it's about
Well, this
without
is
spoiling anything. Then.
all of this visions, this is pretty much based on Puerto Rican history, or conquistadors coming in, and we have this character that has, let's just say, an identity crisis. This person is out there as a character, looking to defend his place, and looking to pretty much understand that Puerto Rico has been under this conquistadors situation since the early days, and these guys who are like modern day pirates, they're coming in to pretty much exploit the resources again. So
Gotcha.
he's like
Yeah.
understanding, the character goes in this quest of understanding that this is redundant, this had been happening for so long, and he's just pretty much placed in the same situation that Puerto Rico has ever been. So how he's going to change that, how he can, put the island in a sense of defense so that people don't take, let's just say, take our resources away for no reason, and
Right. Right. Yeah.
but it's more like a personal identity type of struggle with the character, who he is, who are his ancestors and all that. It's more character oriented than story driven, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And it is all inclined and relying on the sense of timing and rhythm. So really the historical aspect is there to just set a sense of story. But what I really want the people to enjoy is the colors and the actual, vibrations that are within the project, and not necessarily taking any context of the story too seriously. It
Right.
is something that, I mean, by all means, because at some point, people could get a little political in Puerto Rico, and I'm like, hey, I'm not like that, so I'm just placing something there to put the character in a threshold.
Yeah.
But it is, by all means, it is not like any type of, any like critic of politics or whatever. Like I really, I shy
Just
away
have
from that,
fun.
because
Just have
it's just
fun. Watch
fun,
the movie.
fun times, adventure, comedy,
That's what it's
and
all about. Entertainment.
a
Yeah.
character,
Yeah.
and a context to give you and the audience a sense of adventure and a sense of, excitement, and feeling that you can be a hero yourself, feeling that you can be a part of something and actually believe in something, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's something very hard to do. It's something that everything in art, it sometimes it get misinterpreted. But I want to get into that point in which I get ripe as an artist, in which I can really project what I'm trying to convey, without it being misinterpreted. I think that's one of the biggest challenges, of having something that has so many components, and you're looking at the technical, you're looking at the story, but then you want to bring a feel. That's all I want to bring, like some type of a feeling, and
Mhm.
hopefully I can align it with the music and the rhythm. So we'll see slowly how I can, develop that more as mostly as a performer, as an actor, because I mean I have to say that in first and foremost, I am an actor, but I love directing, I love the filmmaking, the whole thing. But it's challenging when you're
Yeah.
when you're trying to
When you're doing it
bring
all.
something about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And hey,
Yeah.
like, sometimes I like the challenge of doing it all. I'm not gonna lie, but most times you end up doing it all really because you don't have a lot of choices.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but eventually, what I would like is, I mean, I had great experiences with this project. Working with Mark, working with Cynthia, working with Marco, working in a really collaborative situation in which people know their stuff. That's incredible, because everybody just they just put their part in, and everything, comes together.
Yeah.
So eventually I would like, to have the opportunity to bring people that are masters of their craft, to my projects eventually, and trying to delegate and just share the space of creation, of my creations. As of now, I've been fortunate to, working with other people, and support them in their creations, and I have my share of supporters as well. But at some point, it's like, everybody has their stuff and they have to let go, so you end up like doing most of the legwork yourself.
Right. Yeah.
But what I really would like is to, find, obviously, this space in which you can just keep creating your stuff with other people, and just being a part of other people's stuff. So,
Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. Yeah.
mhm.
Expressing yourself, being creative,
Yeah,
working hard to, perfect your craft. Yeah,
totally.
man. The art of filmmaking. And Chucky here says, very cool. Thanks for sharing. Take your passion and make it happen. Great scenery and fight scenes wishing you all the best of continued success. Right on, brother. Yeah, there
Thank
you
you
go.
very much, Chucky, man. I really
Yeah,
appreciate,
yeah.
I really
And
appreciate that.
and congrats, Jose. Excuse me. Ooh, I can speak of the just something's in this coffee. Congrats, Jose, on completing your project. The Land
Oh,
of the
thank
Brave
you.
Lord,
Thank
your
you.
passion project, and I hope it will lead to bigger and better things. I'm sure it will. Maybe a
Thank
full
you.
length feature.
Yes.
Yeah,
That would be incredible. It would
yeah,
be definitely a dream come true. And I already have a lot of ideas, a lot of great action moments. The pacing, it's
yeah,
down, landscapes, and finding a way to bring more of that feeling into the character. At the very end, it's something that you have in your head and you dwell on it so much until it actually makes sense to you, and then you're like, now I know how to do it. So I think I'm in this position and space in which I understand how to make it work.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it would be an honor to have the opportunity to actually do it for
Yeah,
sure.
so let's do it. Spread the word, guys. We want a full length feature film of the Land of the Brave Lord. I guarantee that it'll be a lot better, a lot more entertaining, a lot more fun, a lot more badass than Tom Holland's Uncharted.
Oh my
I
god.
guarantee you.
Oh my god.
Actually,
Well, that,
I'd
that's a
rather watch your short film over again than Uncharted, but that's just me.
well, that's a huge compliment right there. I can only say grace. I mean, that's quite an expectation, but I definitely have a way to do things that maybe is a little different, that
Yeah,
that could be, maybe some people might dig it more than the Uncharted. Who knows?
it's
We'll
guaranteed.
see. We'll
It's
see.
it's guaranteed. I'm telling you. Guaranteed. Oh, but hey, man, it was an honor to have you here, brother. I could talk to you all
Oh,
day about movies, but I know you're
thank
extremely
you.
busy. And thanks again. Finally, we got him here in the dojo, and you have to return, son, because we got to talk about
Hey.
these projects right here.
Oh yeah, I love that, people.
Yes.
I want to see. I miss you, Mark.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout to Mark and also to Manny Ayala, a great stuntman, a person that really helped me during all this process when I first started off. Obviously, Robert, Cynthia, many people, man, that I have to definitely Demetrius Angelo for the platform, the urban
Yeah.
action that gets us all together there. There's just it's been great fun, and it's just been great, and I'm just happy, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And yes, man, any time that you want to have me back, by all means, just give me the shout, and I'll be
Oh
there.
yeah.
And I thank you again for this time and the good
Yeah.
times. This
Keep
was
me
a
in the
great chat.
keep me in the loop, brother. All these projects. What's this?
Yes.
What's this? We got to talk
we'll
about
talk
this.
we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this. We're gonna help that baby also come about. So
Yeah,
there's
man.
a lot of things in the works,
Yeah.
and slowly but surely we'll get there. It's not. It's a difficult. A lot of things are very difficult to manifest, but with the right persistence and the right team, you
Yeah.
can make anything happen. So
That's
I
right.
really think that it's just a matter of time, and very excited about for Mark and the project that we did, and very excited about the project that did with Cynthia as well.
Let's
Both
go.
great legends. So
Yeah. Yeah, man.
and shout out to Marco as well. All these people, they're close to my heart. So thank you,
Yeah. I got to show the photo one more time.
bro. Yes.
That's like the best photo ever. It's the greatest thing ever. But yeah, we love you, Marco, and all you legends watching. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, in the description box below is Jose's Instagram page. Make sure you follow it. Follow him. Follow this legend on his filmmaking journey. We're rooting for him to be in more
Thank
stuff
you.
because he's good at what he does and he loves what he does. And we
Thank you.
love watching, brother. That's right. That's what
Thank
it's all
you.
about. Yeah, man. Yeah. And if you had fun here, hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Old Samurai Guy. Share this video. You can listen to this probably a day or so on Spotify. Check us out over there as well. But yeah, man, this is fun. This is first to more to come, baby. This is your second home now.
Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
Yeah. Throw it up. That'll be the thumbnail. I'll share that photo. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Jose, don't go anywhere. But all you badasses and legends, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same fat time, same fat channel. I'll be interviewing another legend tomorrow at 5 p.m. See you guys then. Take care.
Bye.